questions you have for me today?
Okay. Here's a question. Okay. If somebody has decided they want to homeschool their kids, how shall they start? Okay, let's say, for example, I have a brand new child and I'm already thinking about their education. How can I set it up, even though they might be just a wee baby? What should I do to prepare myself for educating my own child at home?
Oh, Lynelle, that is an excellent question. I get this question probably once a month from someone who just had a baby, and they're like, "We're planning to homeschool. How can I start?" And I'm like, "They're just a baby." First of all, I am very much of the mindset, better late than early, as far as formal education. So when you're looking at schooling, you do not want to start anything formal until they're like 8-year-old for a girl and maybe 10 for a boy. Outside of that, when they're little, you can do things: read, 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 play, 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 talk, talk, talk. Okay? Read books, take them outside, play with them, show them plants and name them. Talk about what they need to grow. What is their use for us, such as medicinal plants, gardening. Show them. Take them into the kitchen. Show them the recipes. Show them how to cook. Talk about 1 cup and half a cup and 3/4 of a cup, a spoon of this. When you are sorting laundry, you can teach colors, okay? When you are going outside for a walk, you can teach colors by using plants and things in nature. Games, play, read, nothing formal. Arts and crafts, very many important skills can be learned, things like this. Now, as a resource, there is an SDA blog on WordPress, and even though it's not active currently, you can still resource all the articles that have been posted over the years. I mean, like 6+ years. And you can type in your topic, like preschool education, and get a lot of wonderful ideas. I personally wrote for this blog for like 5 or 6 years. I lost count. Many times a year, almost monthly. I have a lot of articles on there, and some of those articles are in regards to early childhood education. So that is an excellent free resource. But that's a great way. Just don't bring out the workbooks or textbooks until they're older. Yeah.
Good to know, because that's an easy thing to fall into, to go grab something off the shelf at the store, like a workbook, and start handing it to the kids. Hey, I have another question for you.
Okay.
All right. How early should we start teaching our kids to read?
Oh, when they show signs to be ready. Okay. So what I did, I started saying, I don't have a book within reach, but what I would do, you got your child beside you and you're reading, follow along with your fingers. And then as you're reading, you can, look at that, and point out, identify, ask questions. Well, where is the dog? Let's count the balloons. Okay. As you're going through each page, don't just read and flip the page. So you're asking questions, asking them questions for comprehension. Okay, are they understanding what you are reading? Are they connecting the words, the print, to what's on the pictures on the page? So as they get older, they will start asking, what's that letter? What's that word? Okay. If you're singing the alphabet and counting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, they're going to learn it. Nothing formal. And then they will come and say, Mommy, help me write my letters. That's a sign of readiness. I know I have seen this way too many times in little kids, okay? When they are asking, what's this word? What's this letter? You start with what they're asking. Don't jump off to something deeper. Answer their specific question. And then when they are ready, they will ask for a deeper level of knowledge. And if you do this, then your child-led education will turn out excellent. Because kids develop at different ages and abilities. Some are ready to read at 3 and 4, and some are not ready to read until 10, 11, or 12. Right? But if you allow the child to guide, listen, and they will tell you. They will tell you. It's not hard.
Okay, that is some good advice. I do have another question pertaining to that. If you have a child who is a bit more precocious, who seems interested earlier than what might appear to be average, because all of our kids are brilliant, right? Do you recommend starting kindergarten curriculum early? Like maybe 4 years old if a child seems interested?
Curriculum?
Uh-oh.
Formal? No. Okay. Now, if they are asking questions, if they are showing an early readiness, as a parent and grandparent to extremely gifted children, you again, child-led. If they are showing signs of readiness to read at 4, you answer that. But what I usually tell people is you go broad versus deep. Okay, so you don't want to become lopsided. If they are progressing through their educational pathway at a really fast rate, broaden it. Include things like art, music, sports, whatever they're interested in, photography, sculpture, anything that they show an interest, broaden instead of going at a deeper level in your reading, writing, and arithmetic. So as far as, kindergarten curriculum, I would not do, even for a gifted child, I would not do anything formal before the age of 8 at the minimum, because it's not just cognitive development, it's also physical and the ability to sit for more extended time and focus on a subject matter. So if you're waiting until 8 to 10, depending upon male and female, you're going to allow the child to develop more naturally. And really, in Finland, I think it is, they are doing things like this. They are waiting for more formal education until the children are 8 to 10 years old. And it is giving great, great results. And they don't have all of the little boys bouncing around, getting in trouble, destroying things. because they're waiting until their body is mature.
That is so good to know. I can see I'm going to have to pass this on because this will be really helpful for my grandchildren. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to a different topic.
Okay.
So how about let's move on to health. You know, it's the new year, and there's lots of people making New Year resolutions.
Yes.
Usually about weight loss or getting healthier or exercising more. And the majority, that would include me, these resolutions usually do not last long because then life happens. So could you please share with us some good steps for improving our health in the new year?
Yes, I was just talking to someone recently about how improving health is one of the most popular New Year's resolutions that are normally broken by January the 31st.
Yes.
You know, you hear of SMART goals all the time: specific, measurable, realistic, achievable, and timely. Those not in order because I blinked out for a second. Okay, so if you have a goal, make sure it is a SMART goal. And what I find myself, what I find very, very helpful is that I think of, like, for physical health, I think of one goal per month. It takes 21 days to make a habit. Okay. So if you start each month, you have a health goal. So you might start in January with, my goal is to eat 50% real food each week. So you are making the transition from your packaged. Now, this is someone who has not been eating healthy or clean or anything like that. They eat the standard American diet. So if you're starting from that spot, I would start with something simple. One, drink half of your body weight in ounces of water a day. That's a very simple goal. That could be your goal for January. In February, your goal, continuing the water, could be, I will make sure that, I will eat 50% of my meals will be from whole foods. Okay. So, and then March, your goal could be, I will walk 10 minutes, 5 days a week. Okay. Whatever you are able to do. When I first restarted exercising after my health was being restored, I could not walk, just barely make it the length of one house before I had to turn back. But I kept doing it. And now I can walk as long as I need to walk, So the thing is to start where you are. Now, if you are capable of setting like 2 goals, but I wouldn't do any more than 2, okay? Baby steps. But develop the habit. Maybe you already drink your water that you need every day. Maybe you already eat mainly from a whole foods, plant-based diet. You could start with exercise, whether it's 10 minutes a day or 15, or whatever your goal is. You could start, like for January, my goal is 10 minutes a day. In February, my goal is 15 minutes a day or 20 minutes a day, whatever you think you can do. Okay. So that's probably pretty much the way I do things. I set a goal each month in each category, such as physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, family. Those are the 5 categories I do goals in. And I may do 2 or 3 for the quarter or for the year. And then I just spread them out so that I'm not overwhelmed trying to make all of these changes at once when I know I'm just going to fail. And then I'll be down on myself and I'll say, what's the use? I'll never do it. Now, Lynelle, you know, I have to say this. Sometimes when you are making a goal and wanting to make some healthy changes, you need help. You need an accountability partner. That's what I do. Please, if you want someone to help you along this walk for improved health, contact me at Kindling Dreams.
And you would keep us on the right track. I have faith in that.
Yes, I sometimes, you know, when I was teaching my Rebuilding the Temple class a couple of years ago, you know, I'd be contacting the people and I'd be asking them their questions and they'd go, oh, well.
Oh, but you have some great steps. And I love the fact that you said baby steps, and it's not, here's my goals all in one big bundle, and I start them on January 1st. And then, of course, we get hungry, and it's a long day. And life gets in the way.
And see, when you run into obstacles, that's when it's really helpful to have someone you can contact and say, okay, this is happening. I keep slipping up. What can I do? And then we can brainstorm alternatives. And one thing to remember, Lynelle, is that when you're starting your goals to improve your life, you know, whatever portion of your life that may be, it's not a detour. This is not something you start and do for 2 or 3 weeks, and then you go back to the old habits. Okay, this is a new path. So when you're doing a new path, you can, you know, when you have an empty field and you start cutting across that field, a shortcut, it's pretty hard at first because you're trampling down the weeds and stuff. But after a while, if you're going over that path, the same path, it gets easier and easier. Okay? So now when you're breaking a habit, you're wanting to make a new path. So it's hard at first. But when you keep going on that new path, it's going to get easy. And what happens, the old path that's been all set, it'll start disintegrating and the path will disappear. And it's the same with your neural pathways in your brain. It's called pruning. And when you stop a bad habit, your body, your brain will eventually prune that pathway, means it will die and disintegrate. Okay? It just takes time of repeating the new, healthier choices to develop a new neural pathway so the old one can die.
Okay, got some things to think about. Thank you. Some really good advice. And all right, let's move on to another topic. Okay, we've talked a lot about prepping, and, because as you say, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yes.
What if somebody is just beginning to tune in and they'd never really thought about prepping before? And they don't have anything. It's a new idea, but yet they're on a tight budget, so they can't just go out and buy a bunch of stuff. What can they do?
Good question. Good question. First thing would be to take stock of what you already have. Okay. There are some wonderful free resources out there that will give you ideas of how much food a family would need, depending upon how many adults or children you have in your household. Start with what you have. You can get one of these, find them online. The LDS, the Latter-day Saints, also has a free PDF, and they have a way of $5 or $10 a week extra to slowly build up your food stores. So something like that. What I did when I was just starting, when I went to the store, I would buy 2 extra bags of beans, a jar of peanut butter, and some white vinegar. Okay, that's like $5 or $6. Well, it was less than $5 back then. You can also grab, the next time I would grab rice, a couple of those dollar spices, some salt. Okay. You might grab a bag of pasta one time. Okay. If you eat things like spaghetti sauce, you can buy a couple of those Hunt's, just plain Jane Hunt's can of spaghetti sauce. And for just a couple of bucks, well, it's been a long time since I bought it, so it might be under $3 now, but it's not very expensive. So what I'm saying is, you just buy a tiny bit here and there, but see what you've got now, because you don't want to buy what you don't use, and you don't want to overbuy in one area. You might buy an extra thing of toilet paper or paper towels or deodorant. You can go to the dollar store and stock up on a lot of things. You can't beat $1. Okay. And then, you've got your list and you can keep track. I use a spreadsheet. I have the things divided, like beans, different types of beans and nuts and flours, and how much I want stored. And then each time I'll go through this. I've got 5 pounds of this. I've got 10 pounds of this. I've got 3 pounds of this. I've got a pound of this. And I have record of how much I have. And then I'm just slowly trying to cover at least 2 weeks of everything first, and then go back, and then a month of everything, and then 3 months of everything, and then 6 months. And remember, store what you use and use what you store. Put things so that you can get it in a rotating basis.
Oh, okay.
All right. And I know we have addressed some of this before, but bay leaves are good to set in things like your flowers, because you can freeze them for 2 weeks when you first get them, and then put them in your storage containers, and then keep some bay leaves in it, and it'll keep the buggies out.
We don't want buggies in our prepared food or prep foods. Oh, and that is very doable, especially for somebody even on a really tight budget. just to buy a little extra of the very basics, the rice,
Yes.
beans, things that we can cook.
Mm-hmm.
Cook.
I mean, storing water, just save your containers and store, fill them up every time. I mean, I don't drink sodas and stuff, but when I bought juice, I would rinse it out and store water in them. Okay, so whatever you have, you can store water, or you can buy 5-gallon jerry cans for very inexpensively and store water in. Okay, so 3 days without water is what you can live. 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food, and of course, 3 minutes without oxygen. I saw someone put 8 minutes the other day, and I thought, oh, 8 minutes?
8 minutes?
You would have a lot of brain damage in 8 minutes.
We wouldn't be much good for ourselves at that point.
No.
Well, thank you. You have some really good, wise comments for us to ponder. And I really appreciate the time that you have taken to share all this with everyone.
I always love helping people. Love helping people. Now, Lynelle and I do interview videos on various topics. If you think of a topic you would like us to cover, please get hold of one of us. You can reach me through Kindling Dreams on Facebook or Lynelle on Damsels in Defense. Yes, you can reach us and say, hey, I would love to hear an interview on whatever specific question. For our Q&A for January, if you have a question, shoot one of us a message. Be glad to cover it.
Yeah, I'll learn from it. Yes, because we would love to chat with you all some more. All right. Thank you so much. And it was, again, great to be able to hang out with you for this Q&A.
Yes.
And for you watching, hey, say something so we know that you're watching it on the replay. And again, ask your questions for next time. All right. Thank you so much.